These days, it's all gluten-free this and gluten-free that, but what exactly is gluten, and should we be jumping on the gluten-free train? It's very confusing. So we have health and wellness reporters Alana Momini here to make sense of it all. Hi, Z.
Hi. Yeah, well, a gluten-free diet has been linked to, increased energy, reduced belly bloat, but going gluten-free, if you don't have to, isn't necessarily good for your health.
All right, so what is gluten exactly?
So gluten is a protein that's found in wheat, barley, and rye, and any sort of wheat derivative. It's what makes baked goods so delicious. It's what makes pizza dough kind of spongy and bread soft. It's that it factor.
It's the fun part.
It's the fun part.
Okay. So is it bad for us? So many people are going gluten-free.
Well, people who need to go gluten-free are actually allergic to gluten. They have a digestive disorder called celiac disease, and 1 in every 141 Americans actually has this disease. So definitely that's important.
Okay, then. So these people, so those are the type of people right now going gluten-free?
Right, but there's also a group of people that are gluten sensitive. So they're not necessarily celiac, they don't have like an intestinal disorder, but they have sensitivities, they have, constipation, bloating, fatigue, diarrhea. So they have symptoms, and over 20 million Americans are gluten sensitive. Okay. So that's a real issue as well.
Well, those are really common symptoms for a lot of things. So how do you know it's related to gluten?
Well, and that's the problem. They do overlap, so it's really hard to diagnose. You definitely, if you think you have a problem, if you have some of these symptoms, get screened by a specialist, but don't attempt to go gluten-free on your own. If you go gluten-free before getting tested, it can really mess with results.
Okay, but as a result of this, a ton of people are going gluten-free.
Yeah, people have latched onto it as sort of the cure-all for anything, fatigue, migraines, and while it does work for some people, it might not work for everyone.
Okay, what about weight loss? Does it help with that?
It's not going to make you suddenly lose weight, but what it does do is it obviously reduces the choices you have with food, so you're less likely to overeat, and so that can make you lose weight. But again, it's important to remember, it doesn't mean fat-free or calorie-free. In fact, it could be just the opposite. To bind the food together, food manufacturers need to use more sugar and fat if they can't use gluten. So, if you compare a regular food with their gluten-free counterpart, the gluten-free often has more calories.
Okay.
So that's important to keep in mind.
All right, so who should be going gluten-free then?
All right, so people with celiac disease or those who have a gluten sensitivity, absolutely go gluten-free with the help of your doctor or nutritionist to make sure you're still getting everything you need nutritionally. But if you're not one of those, subsets, you definitely don't want to try to attempt this on your own unless you need to. You could be losing out on really important nutrients such as iron and fiber and B vitamins that you get from whole grains. So it's not something you should do casually.
Okay.
For sure.
So a lot of people in LA are writing this down right now.
Sorry about that.
So many people gluten-free.
I know, it sounds cool, but
yeah, but you really
not
need to
for
check
everyone.
out the facts
You
before
do.
you do it.
Absolutely.
And that is why you are here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right.